Welcome back to more Explorers of Darkness. Last time, we explored Fogbound Lake and watched Wigglytuff get jumped by a bunch of spooky, dark, and poison types. This time, we're gonna explore Steam Cave. And I'm not gonna go on, no. We're just gonna go into Steam Cave. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, let's just go. Meanwhile... I feel like the scene would be a lot funnier here if, like, the 2D sprites in the overworld were more emotive and not just kind of statically staring at each other, but I guess the portraits are amusing. This is genuinely just some of the most immaculate rage bait of all time. Holy shit. I've already said that like 3 times, but I don't care. It's true. You're going down, Tubby. Holy shit. Well, I guess Wigglytuff's dead now. Anyway, on to Steam Cave. Put those items. God, I wonder how many times in this playthrough I'm gonna fucking say that. Anyway, this dungeon is really nice. Title set is interesting looking, and again, the music that plays here is very nice, and I think for the point in the story you're at, you know, approaching the end of the expedition already, it's like, I like the intensity of it, you know, it's pretty cool. Of course, I mentioned this before, there's like one dungeon theme I can think of that I don't like. I guess there's one that's like in one of the special episodes of Explorers of Sky, but it's obviously not in this game, so it doesn't matter. The game has really nice music overall. I know, what a shocking thing to say. A PMD fan is a big fan of the music. Like, no shit. It's like one of the things people praise the absolute hardest about this game. What I'm not praising is what this fucking cricket tune is doing to me right now, making me miss all my moves. Piss off. Oh my god. That trick shot. Actually, wait, that thing didn't even die, did it? Oh my god. I'm surprised it let me throw it from that far away. That's insane. Holy shit. Oh, I already passed right by the stairs. I'm an idiot. Let's just move on. Well, this dungeon, I'll have to kind of baby Chico here a little bit, because the fire and bug types are going to be annoying. Yet another luminous orb. Oh my god, we got 4 of them in the last episode. I'm just going to start using them. Holy shit. No way I can even use this many of them. My god. I mean, I'm not complaining at all that we're getting so many, but... I did not realize they're so fucking common. Oh my lord. So I see Cricketune here has Fury Cutter. That is going to be extremely bad if Chico gets hit by it. In fact, she's probably going to die at least once outright. Yes, at least once. That's how horrifying multi-hits are in this game. The fact that they can kill you multiple times because you can shoot through Reviver Seeds. That's like... it's so fucked up. You've probably noticed throughout this playthrough, I've been skipping over Sticks and Thorns this entire time. I think I'm actually going to start picking them up and trying to use them. Because the thing is, like... if you already have a ranged move, I don't think the Thorns are that useful. I mean, they're definitely useful. They can do good damage, especially, like, Thorns and Silver Spikes hit super fucking hard. Because, like, I believe Sticks, I want to say they hit with the same power as a basic attack. And then, like, the Thorns and Silver Spikes will do even more damage on top of that. Fucking whiff for status, great. That's a good time to test one of these. And it fucking missed anyway. Never mind. I don't know, I feel like Thorns and Sticks and Spikes are probably good. It's just I never bother using them, because if you have a ranged move, which you should, because ranged moves are obviously extremely good, then you never really have to bother using them. And, like, pretty much every Pokemon gets a ranged move at some point, so, you know, why wouldn't you give one to your Pokemon, if possible, you know? Like, I'm a fire type. Eventually, I'm probably going to give myself Flamethrower, because it's obviously just such a good move. Well, I'm probably going to learn it through level up eventually anyway. I don't know what Torchic's level up set looks like, but it almost certainly gets Flamethrower. Slumber Orb, that's pretty good. We don't have to deal with monster houses quite yet. Pretty soon here we're going to have to, but... getting stuff like Slumber Orbs, Totter Orb, like Foe Seal and Foe Fear, that's going to be really good. Because Petrify Orb is only in Explorers of Time, and that... Petrify Orb and Spurn Orb are both only in Explorers of Time, and those are probably 2 of the best methods of cleaning up monster houses to protect yourself, and we don't have access to them, which is, like, pretty bad. So we're gonna have to use, like, the lower tier options to defend ourselves in those situations. Again, soon we're gonna have to deal with monster houses, not quite yet, though. Wow, this recording's only been going on for 4 minutes. We're already at the end. Holy shit. Really, only I've only been playing for 5 minutes so far? That's crazy, holy shit. That first half of the dungeon was really, really short, actually. Well, the rest of this episode is gonna be, you know, the second half of the dungeon, and then, like, all the other cutscenes that play in this section of the game. So it's probably gonna be about as long as the other episodes, so, you know, about, like, 20 to 30 minutes. Not even allowed to check our inventory here. This isn't something you can actually see here, but, well, I'm not really sure it's worth bringing this up, but fuck it. It's better than just staring at the saving your adventure screen, not saying anything. You can't see it here, but if you have other party members on the team, then they will actually, like, wait idly on the sides here. It's kind of interesting. You'd like to return to Steam Cave's entrance. I honestly didn't even know you were allowed to do that, but... well, we're not gonna bother doing that, there's no point. Anyway, keep on moving. Meanwhile, the gas station tweaker is, like, freaking the fuck out and screaming at the cashier on the other end of the store. I forgot how, like... I forgot how unbothered by the roaring your partner is. They hear it and they're like, oh, that's crazy, that's kind of scary. Anyway, let's keep going. I guess there's some development from Waterfall Cave where, like, they have to hype themselves up so much to jump through the waterfall. I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb. I like that she has to rephrase asking me if I've been here before, like, 5 times in a row. Whereas that's just par for the course for Chunsoft writing, is to just have characters repeat themselves over and over again. Whatever. Anyway, Upper Steam Cave. Well, the tile set is pretty much the exact same, but I also like the music a lot here. It's like, just like a pitched down and slower version of Steam Cave, but it's still nice. We've been spawning next to the stairs a lot, so let's try to actually explore the floors a little bit here. We got full healed since the last floor, so... well, might as well, now that we have our resources replenished, might as well try to explore a little more, you know? Why Cricketune spawns here as an enemy, I don't really know, considering it's Steam Cave with, like, boiling hot water. In fact, the spawn list of Pokemon here is already just pretty random. Like, you get some fire types, obviously that makes sense. Then you get, like, Farfetch'd can show up, I don't believe you've seen him. And, like, Volbeat. Okay, well, Volbeat also makes sense. But, like, Farfetch'd and, like, Snubbull and Granbull can show up, and it's like, fuck. I'm not gonna bother with Sand Attack. That's a more of a enemy... that's, like, more of a move for the enemy to use to piss you off, you know? Not gonna bother with that. Oh. Took no damage. That's a load of shit. This'll do some damage. There we go. Yeah, the spawn list of enemies here is really random. Oh, yeah, and I didn't really show it, but, well, yeah, the recruit search is just empty, because we're not allowed to recruit anything right now, so we can't see what Pokemon spawn here. Although I think aside from Farfetch'd, we've pretty much seen everything already. None of them are really interesting. I guess, again, we just gotta be kind of scared of Cricketune, because we don't want to get hit with Fury Cutter. We don't want to let Chico get hit with Fury Cutter, you know? If Moth here gets hit with it, I don't think it's really gonna matter. Just keep on moving. Oh, shit, Granbull jump scare, and another Cricketune. Taking kind of weird path to get over here, but whatever. Anyway, I mean, this dungeon, Upper Steam Cave, this is just more of the same of the first half. Except you see, like, Magmars here now instead of Magby, which pretty much just means more EXP for us, so I'm not complaining. More levels, my god. We came in here at, like, level 15 each, and we're both already at 19. That's crazy. So much XP at this point. Two apples right next to each other. Nice. We have plenty of those. Let's just eat it. This upper half of the dungeon is not even very long. It's like... might only even be 4 floors. I don't remember. It's so short, and it's right after you get a full heal that it's, like, not a big deal. But what the hell? I guess Moonlight affects the entire floor. I forgot about that. You know, Volbeat and Illumise could actually probably be pretty decent support Pokemon in this game because of Moonlight. Although, I don't have one yet. And there's not that many Pokemon that even get Moonlight, but... like, Moonlight and Morning Sun, both definitely good because they heal the whole team. So, maybe later in the game we can find a Morning Sun Mon, or like Moonlight, that'd be nice. Roost, Yeah, the other episode I discovered that I unfortunately cannot learn Roost, so whatever, but we already have orange berries, so I don't really care. Actually use some of these thorns, how about? I don't know, that didn't really do shit, but... Okay, well, I don't really... Son of a bitch. I don't really feel so bad about not using sticks and thorns at this point. Maybe later in the game they get stronger, but... Again, later in the game we have flamethrower, so I don't really care. These Illumises are fucking tanky, and they hit decently hard as well, my god. Hopefully, though, there's not much more to this dungeon. Oh, there's a little more. Oh my god. All the enemies are getting really tanky if you survive that. Jeez. That's not good. Poison shouldn't be that big of a deal. Give this to her. Another Roost Gem. No, I didn't really need it the first 2 times. I swear I don't need it now either. Hopefully we can find the stairs here pretty quick, or we can just get sent through a weird looping passage. Oh, there we go, there's the stairs. Okay, Upper Steam Cave. Definitely longer than I remembered, but again, still not a huge deal. I'll really be eating my words if we die here, but no, what am I talking about? I'm not gonna die here. I'm too goated of a fucking gamer. Dude. Oh, fuck this, I'm not even gonna bother with the thorns anymore. They're not useful right now, or for most of the game. They're probably better in, like, level 1 dungeons, but... Again, that's not something for a long time. You know, we're not gonna put up with that for a long time. Okay, there we go. Only 7 floors. Not bad. I like the Groudon's footsteps are so heavy that we literally bounce up in the air when he walks. It's a really funny detail. Oh my god, it's the last seconds of screen time Corfish is ever going to have for the rest of the game. Also, when the hell did we get so far ahead of everybody? Oh my lord. I like that he says scuttling instead of walking because he's a crab. That's kind of funny. How goddamn heavy are Groudon's footsteps that the entire ground is shaking from this far away? Oh my god. I like, the framing of the scene is really weird, because you can't see, well here, let's just let the camera scroll over. Fucking jobbers got owned by Wiggly God. Yeah, they're like 5 feet away from Digley's perspective, and yet he couldn't really see them somehow. Funny. Team Skull, more like Team Bitch. Some Vegeta level jobbing on display right now. And that's pretty much the last, well, not really the last relevance that Team Skull has, but fuck those dweebs, we're not gonna see them again for a little while. My lord. It's the worst Gen 3 legendary. I don't care that much for Groudon or Kyogre, to be totally honest. It's funny, though, that Groudon has, like, a main role in 2 back-to-back Mystery Dungeon games where Kyogre is pretty much irrelevant in both. It's kind of funny. Glad the Kangaskhan Rock is still over there in case they need to use it. I do like this sequence here. where they're hyping up how fucking evil and horrible and dangerous Groudon is right before the fight. I actually think this is pretty neat. Does he know? Clearly, he's never, you know, played Rescue Team and used a track before. What a fucking jobber. Of course, we already know Chad out as a jobber. Okay, first real boss fight of the game, Groudon, and it's really not that bad. In fact, it's going to be easier because the sun is out, and, you know, I'm a fire type, so just boosted embers. Okay, let's quickly throw a pebble at him. I think Chico's moves are all good. Synthesis will actually also be good because it's boosted by the sun, so yeah, this has just made it easier for us. Use X-I-Seed. We don't do very much damage because Groudon has a big level advantage over us. I don't remember how high of an advantage, but it's definitely pretty high level. It's like 30 or 40 or something. See how much damage our embers do. Yeah, pretty decent. We're wasting a lot of these turns because he's kind of just walking around in random places like an idiot. See, as a kid, I always assumed that Groudon was a fire type just because the sun is out in this fight, and I mean, you know, Kyogre is a water type, so I always just figured that he would be like, you know, I figured he'd be like a fire type counterpart to the water type, but no. So I guess I had a second XI seed, might as well just use it again. Keeps unlocking him, you can't do shit about it. Also, let's focus energy real quick just to get them crits. My god, it does so much damage, it's insane. This is the power of legendary Pokemon. Get fucking owned. Oh my god, get owned. No EXP for that though, that kind of sucks, but... With certain teams, like, if you have a water-type Pokemon, it ironically becomes a lot harder just because they're Sun, which means your water moves, despite being super effective, are doing barely any damage. You know, despite being super effective and stab, they do barely any damage, so you gotta just chip away at them a lot more, but... This is never really that hard of a boss fight. And I mean, it's the first, like, actual boss fight of the game, so obviously it's not going to be very hard. I'd argue that Drowsy might be harder. I don't know, Groudon has way more fucking health and is super tanky because he's so high level, but, like... Drowsy can, like, you know, Drowsy has Forewarn for, like, dodge hacks, and I feel like he has other things that make him more scary of an opponent than Groudon. I don't think Groudon's very threatening at all. Again, we're still fairly early into the game, I guess. We're, like... Oh, I don't know, this is, like, a quarter of the way through the game, I guess. My point is Groudon is not that strong. He's not really hard, especially since Torchic and Chikorita, honestly, this might be one of the best possible teams to just whoop his fucking ass because of the sunlight. Because you just get boosted Embers and boosted Synthesis, and, like, crits with Focus Energy, and, like, super effective Grass moves just for days, and you just totally dog walk him. Funny. And then also, you know, we just stunned him for the entire battle with XI Seed, so he got off, like, a single attack that missed. If that Mud Shot had actually landed, it probably would have hurt really fucking bad, to be fair. It wouldn't have killed in one hit, I don't think, but it would have done a lot of damage, and the accuracy... No, the speed drop would have been pretty bad. I think Mud Shot's a speed drop. Anyway, this part of the game, well, because of the recording setup... Well, we're not there yet, but this part of the game is just really, really pretty. All the art they show in this part, and, like, the effects with all, like, you know, the Volbeats and Illumise flying around is just, so good. This is definitely one of, like, the highlights of the game, for sure. I'm sure if most people thinking about PMD scenes, this might be one of them. This might be the only one of them that is not the waterfall, or related to, like, Rovile and Dusknoir and anything that happens in the future, or, like, the Dialga or some shit, but... This is definitely a standout scene. Oh yeah, and there's a time gear here, I forgot. You know, I'm not sure what gave it away that it was a time gear. Maybe the fact that it's in the shape of a fucking gear, you know, I don't know. Maybe gears don't exist in this world, I don't know. Clink didn't exist yet, until, you know, a few years after this game came out. I also do really like the time gear motif they use here. I'm curious, of all Pokemon, I wonder why Yuxi chooses Groudon as the puppet she uses to fight, or also why she just doesn't fight her on her own. Okay, well, that's kind of a dumb question, because, you know, Yuxi's goal is to guard the Time Gear, and I think it would definitely be for the best to have a bodyguard to fight for you instead of actually, you know, moving away from the Time Gear and putting yourself at risk, you know? I'm curious from, like, a development standpoint as well, why Groudon is what they chose to, is what they chose for the legendary you fight here. I think there would be, like, a lower tier one they could have picked. There's a lot of legendaries in this game, because, like, you know, Gen 4 introduced, like, 10 or 15 something legendary, so there's a shitload of them in this game. And so a lot of the legendaries in this game are, like, kind of just stuffed in random optional dungeons or shit like Final Maze, just to be, like, you know, so you can actually recruit them on your team. Unlike in Rescue Team, where there were far fewer legendaries, so they all had their own dedicated dungeons, and usually, like, a story attached to them as well. I don't know. I'm getting pretty sidetracked. Anyway, re-enter Wigglytuff, holy shit. Of course, you know, Wigglytuff is strong enough that he, you know, wouldn't give a fuck about seeing Groudon anyway. I feel like he can just no-sell everything the Groudon would throw at him. I'm glad we got a few seconds of the, like, the Wigglytuff theme before going immediately back to the serious Time Gear theme. It's kind of funny. Jump scared. I like that they saw someone up ahead, and the person they saw was not Groudon, despite him being gigantic. It's just a stupid fucking nitpick anyway. We're finally gonna get to see it. Hey, there we go. I know the illusion is kind of broken because the two screens are not on top of each other. What I get for not playing on what I get for playing on my Nintendo PC instead of my actual DS, but either way, the little pixel art scene here of, you know, the fountain with all the Volbean enemies, just so good. Chef's kiss. That's a cult, by the way. It is a very nice view, I'll give you that, but the treasure being the view that's a cult. I don't care. Some money would have been nice. No, I'm just kidding. We got a lot of boxes and a lot of money from this expedition, so it's actually all worked out pretty damn well, you know? Alright, sorry, I just wanted to shut the fuck up for a moment and let the music play out there. The music in this game is so good. I'm probably gonna say that about 20 billion times throughout this playthrough. As has every other person who's ever played this damn game. Doesn't really need to be said at this point, but I want to say it anyway, goddammit. I also appreciate that Yuxi is extremely chill and reasonable as well. I feel like when you encounter... in stories like this where you encounter, like, these legendary, like, deity beings, they're usually fucking insane or extremely stubborn. But I find it amusing and kind of nice that Yuxi is just very chill and can, like, you know, actually be reasoned with. I like that. Anyway, well, that was it. That was the entirety of the expedition. It took way less time than I expected it would, but, you know what? We got some pretty good shit out of it. And we got yet another bag space expansion. 5 bag pages now. There's only one left. And it is not until, like, way goddamn later in the game. In fact, I want to say for the rest of the main story, this is actually all the bag space we're gonna have. Holy fuck. Chapter 10, Dusknoir. It's all over my screen now. Oh my god. Well, no, he hasn't even shown up yet. And he's not gonna show up until next time, where we're gonna meet Dusknoir, so see you then.